back in Investor Channel's headquarters in San Diego, California. On today's program, we have Ric Schumacher, President and CEO of Pressure BioSciences. And Ric's going to be telling us about the latest updates on the Q1 filings, as well as a reverse stock split. Ric, thanks so much for taking the time to join us.
Appreciate you having me on. Thank you, Dan.
Well, Ric, last time we had you on, we said we were going to talk about the latest Q1 filings. So tell us a bit more about those results.
Sure. We had a very good first quarter. Very happy with the numbers. Our products and services revenue continues to increase, and it went up 16% over the same period last year. And that was driven by almost a 50% increase in consumable sales. So we're very happy with the continued increase in our consumables. As you know, this is a razor blade story. We sell an instrument that's used to break apart samples to free all of the biomolecules inside the DNA, RNA, protein, and lipids for researchers to study them, hopefully to find the next cure, the next strategic program, the next vaccine. And we're supported by 15 patents that cover this technology, and the sales were up 16%, and at the same time, our expenses went down. So it's the best of all worlds.
Well, Ric, definitely, you're always showing you're improving, and we talked about that. That you entered finished 2016 very strong and entered 2017 strong. So it's definitely a testament to that. Now, last time we've been talking quite a bit about you've been focused on uplisting and getting back to the NASDAQ, and you just completed a 1-for-30 reverse stock split. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, I can't talk much about the stock split, but you're right. I know that the investors sometimes have trouble finding the stock, and so as we put out a press release, several since that time, and we've talked about the symbol going to from PBIO to PBIOD, D as in David, or as in Dan. And so the symbol is now for the next 20 trading days, or about a month, it's going to be PBIOD. And the stock has split 1 to 30. Stock is now selling around $7 a share versus around 25 cents a share. And this is all part of meeting the NASDAQ minimum rule of having a $4 stock price. So we think it's very important to get back on the NASDAQ stock exchange. We have no institutional support at all. I think we've talked about this before, that stockbrokers have a very limited ability to suggest that investors look at our stock while we're on the OTC. But once we get back to the NASDAQ, it'll open up a lot of avenues to get our stock and our company much better known.
Well, Ric, we're definitely looking forward to that, and congratulations on all the progress. It seems like you're definitely well on your way, and I know we'll see you back there soon. So after that, though, obviously a lot of excitement around the reverse stock split and getting back to the NASDAQ, but in the meantime, there's also been quite a bit else going on. You had Dr. Aebersold just received a pretty prestigious medal, the Karger medal, I believe. Could you tell us a bit more about that for us?
Well, Dan, as you know, and we've talked about on your show before, we believe that one of the best ways to market our product is to go to the key opinion leaders around the world, try to get them to use our system, and then once they use it and fall in love with it, we then hope that they'll publish and present their data. And that's exactly what's happened with Dr. Aebersold. In 2015, Professor Aebersold, who's at the ETH in Zurich, he's generally listed as one of the top protein chemists in the world. And in 2015, he was listed ranked as #1 protein chemist in the world. He switched to our system in 2014. He published a major paper in a very good journal called Nature Medicine in 2015, which really put us on the drawing board. And since then, he's published and presented several more papers. He received the Karger medal from the Barnett Institute in Boston, Massachusetts. He came here. Part of that is to give 2 talks. One is a public talk to anyone that'd like to attend. One is a more private talk to scientists in the area. And in both talks, presentations, where he was talking about proteomics, the study of proteins, he talked about pressure cycling technology in our system. So very, very proud that a gentleman who is regarded as one of the best in the world in his field of proteomics, who's received only the 2nd ever Karger medal, would, in his acceptance speech, talk about proteins and talk about the use of our system to break open cells to get proteins out. Very proud of that.
Well, it definitely shows what an amazing instrument that is, and obviously it's making a difference, and that should definitely help you gain a lot more eyeballs around the product and credibility there. So congratulations there again.
Thank you.
But
thank you.
So let's also talk about right now. You're currently, or PBIO, not yourself currently, but is at the ASMS presentations there. Can you tell us a bit more about that, featuring the Barocycler 2320?
Well, the American Society for Mass Spectrometry meeting is held, the annual meeting is held once a year, as most annual meetings are, and it's held throughout the country, and this year it's in Indianapolis, Indiana. I was unable to go. I've gone most of the past 10 years or so, but there's a lot of stuff going on, and we want to make sure that we try to meet the goal. Our goal was to try to get uplisted by the end of June, and we're still on that goal to the NASDAQ Stock Exchange. So I have a lot of people there. As you know, the company has been a company of 9 people for about 6 years, including only 1 person in sales. So to have our sales go from a few $100,000 up to $2 million last year, with on the backs of really 1 salesperson full time, is a remarkable feat. But we now have 3 salespeople. We announced about a month ago that we've hired 2, and then we're going to hire 2 more. We are expecting to have a sales team of 5 by the time we end June. 3 of them are at the American Society for Mass Spectrometry, which is a major meeting for us because it's not only the producers, the manufacturers, the $6 billion companies that sell the mass spectrometer. This is a $500,000 to $2 million machine that's the gold standard for looking at a protein and deciphering a protein. Not only are the manufacturers there, but also the users from around the world attend. And so we're there with a booth. We're putting on a suite at night and inviting people to come in for ice cream and play some games and also learn about our technology. And at that meeting, Dr. Thomas Conrads, who is a nationally acclaimed protein expert in his own right from the U.S., he and his team presented at 2 what we call user meetings. These are meetings that are attended by hundreds and hundreds of users of mass spectrometers from different companies. And in this case, 1 user meeting was for SCIEX. SCIEX is the company that we have a co-marketing deal with, and they are generally considered or seen to be the largest supplier of mass spectrometers for proteomics in the world. And then Thermo Fisher, which is the largest instrument company in science in the world. Their user meetings with hundreds of users in attendance. Listen to Dr. Conrads and his staff talk about their use of PCT. They're new users of ours. They've come on only this year in 2017. And yet they were very strong and very supportive of the type of data that they're generating based upon the quality of the proteins that are coming out of cells by breaking the cells with our instrument that produces pulses of pressure, basically like squeezing a sponge. So we're very excited that Dr. Conrads was invited, and his team to present at 2 user meetings. Very excited that they included several slides on PCT and some data that was generated with what they consider was very high quality preparation of their proteins through pressure cycling technology, through our instrument, the 2320 Extreme.
It's a very exciting time, obviously, getting back to the NASDAQ and all the other developments and the revenues increasing. So we really appreciate you coming back on and giving us that update. Rick, we'll have you again on soon sometime.
I appreciate it, Dave. Thank you.
Guys, that was Ric Schumacher, President and CEO of Pressure BioSciences, ticker symbol PBIO. But for the current time being, it is underneath the ticker symbol PBIOD until the D comes off during that 30-day period. But catch more webcasts on Investor Town Hall. Join our channel, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks so much. Stay tuned for the next interviews here on InvestorTownHall.com. Also, make sure to join a stock board to start the discussion and get your voice heard.